Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Thursday, April the 28th. We do have, once again, another 3-game slate for Thursday. This could maybe be one of our last 3-game slates of the season because we do have a lot of series that could come to an end today. Philly up 3-2 over Toronto, so, this is potentially a closeout game for them. Phoenix is up 3-2 over the Pelicans, so it's a closeout game for them as well. And then Dallas is up 3-2 over the Jazz. So, if Dallas gets a win, that series is over too. All 3 of these games are potentially could be, closeout games. But these should be 3 fun games. Hopefully all 3 of these games, stay close. We get no blowouts. Obviously the damn, Bucks and Bulls game was a blowout on Wednesday, and that was not to be surprised. I mean, it was a 12.5 point spread. Right now the Golden State Denver game's going on at the time I'm making this video, and it's a close to it's a 3-point game right now in the first quarter. But yeah, man, hopefully we get some good games tonight. I'm excited to watch these games, and as always, we'll talk through these games, kind of talk through what stands out to me, taking a first look at this slate on Wednesday night, and then as we do go through each game, we will build out an early core. We'll talk about 5 players I like at first look on both DraftKings and on Yahoo. Now, as always, guys, before we get started, make sure you hit that like button down below. I do always appreciate the likes. If you're new to the channel, you have not yet, hit that subscribe button as well. I'm trying to upload these videos every single day throughout the playoffs. I've been doing it so far. Don't plan on stopping anytime soon, especially while we still have decent sized slates. Once we get later on in the playoffs where there's only like 1 game a day, I don't know if I'll be making videos then. But while we have 2-game slates, 3-game slates, I still want to try and make videos every day covering these slates for you guys. So definitely hit that like button. I appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button as well. Also, if you are new, go check out the sponsor of the video, PrizePicks, and do have a pretty cool thing to share. So PrizePicks is running a big promo for the NFL Draft. The NFL Draft actually is on Thursday, starts on Thursday. And if you actually look on the screen right now, so PrizePicks is giving away $100,000 on the NFL Draft. They do not have any NFL Draft props available on their board, but they're running a promo that you can check out on their site where basically it's like a questionnaire. I think it's 16 questions. I already filled it out myself. It's 16 questions. You basically, you pick your selections. It's like, do you think this player will get drafted in, this part of the first round, maybe like top 15 or, later in that round? You make your picks. Obviously, if you don't know anything about the NFL draft, then you can do your research or you can just guess. I mean, it's free, so you might as well enter it. And it's a $100,000 grand prize. So if you get every question right, you will win $100,000. If there's multiple people that get every question right, then the $100,000 will get split. But even if you don't get every question right, like even if you get I think it's 12 out of 16 is the minimum. Like if you get at least 12 questions right out of 16, I think you get some sort of prize, some promo funds added to your account. So yeah, if you haven't signed up for PrizePicks yet, I mean, this should be an incentive to go sign up. I don't think this promo is available for people that are not in a legal state for PrizePicks. So if you're in a state that doesn't allow PrizePicks, I don't think you can do this promo. But if you're in a legal state and you have not signed up for PrizePicks yet, definitely get over there. Make sure when you sign up, you use promo code NOAH. They'll match your first deposit up to $100 when you make your deposit. And you can also enter into this promo, which is, again, free to join. You can check it out. It's on their website. You can look for more information there. But did want to give a quick shout out to PrizePicks for running this cool promo, giving away all this money for the NFL draft. I know this is an NBA video, but I'm sure most of you guys pay attention to the NFL. So you definitely should try that out, given it's free. Why not? But be sure to sign up for PrizePicks. Use that promo code. They'll match your first deposit. Promo code NOAH. They'll match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And obviously, you can join. You can take advantage of this promo that they're running. Let's go ahead and talk about the slate. Talk about the first game of the night. So Philly and Toronto. We'll start off with Philly. So looking at the Sixers here, Joel Embiid continues to kind of be disappointing in the series. I mean, Toronto has done a really good job at slowing him down. He's been playing huge minutes. His usage has not been as high. He hasn't been taking as many shots. Embiid is someone I really haven't played much in the playoffs so far. On this slate, I don't think he's going to be someone I prioritize. I think I'd rather get to Luka if I was going to pay up for a stud. You have Chris Paul, who I like as well, who we'll talk about. You have Siakam, who's playing massive minutes right now. Embiid's just kind of a risky tournament option. I think the ceiling is still there for Embiid, but clearly, this matchup is one that he struggled in, and he's dealing with this, torn ligament in his thumb, which I don't think is going to help him at all. So Embiid's not someone I have a ton of interest in today. And then James Harden, I mean, he's just been okay in this series. He's yet to have really a big game. He's going to play massive minutes, probably 40 to 42 minutes, but the shot attempts have not been that high. I mean, last game he only shot the ball 11 times. We know he's going to get peripherals. He's going to get some rebounds. He's going to get plenty of assists. But his usage has just not been that good. He's not really taking a ton of shots. I mean, Toronto's just a good defensive team. They do a good job at slowing down guys like Harden. They trap a lot, so I don't love the spot for Harden either. I mean, he's obviously playable on a 3-game slate, but I think, Tobias Harris looks like my favorite play on the Sixers. He's only 7K, which I know feels, kind of where he should be priced, but he's just been playing so many minutes in this series, 37, 39, and both those games were blowouts. The last 3 games, though, were competitive, and he played 47, 41, and 44 minutes. So I think we're getting 40-plus minutes from Tobias Harris tonight. I know the production has kind of come down a little bit after he had 2 big games in the first 2 games of the series. He's been a little bit more, back to where he was during the regular season, averaging about 35, 36 DK points a night. When you're getting a guy at 7K that's going to play 40-plus minutes, I mean, that does stand out to me, and I think Harris is a pretty solid option in the mid-range. And I've said it so many times, in these playoff slates, it's hard to find value. It's really hard to build good stars and scrubs lineups. You almost have to go balanced on these playoff slates. So I like Harris in the mid-range at 7K. I think he looks pretty good on Yahoo, too. He's pretty affordable over there, only $23. He's for sure one of my favorite power forward plays on Yahoo today. And then Tyrese Maxey is kind of the same thing. I mean, he's been disappointing lately, but he's been playing massive minutes, 47, 39, 42 last game. I feel better about Tobias Harris, but I think Maxey's playable just because he's going to play so many minutes. And then, Danny Green, I mean, he's your typical, cheap value guy that probably gets, 30 minutes. He doesn't offer a ton of upside, but he's 4,400. You would think he plays at least 30 minutes here. Obviously, since this game is in Toronto, Matisse Thybulle is not eligible to play. So that should just make the minutes be even higher for Danny Green. So he's a playable value, but I would say my favorite play on the Sixers today is definitely Tobias Harris, and that's what I'm really liking on the Philly side. So now looking at Toronto, talking about Toronto, once again Fred VanVleet looks like he's going to be out today. He was, I believe, doubtful for their last game, did not play, or that he was ruled out pretty early, and they've already said that he's doubtful for today's game. So it doesn't look like VanVleet's going to play today, which does open up, plenty of minutes. I mean, VanVleet was playing 40-plus minutes a night in the series. There's going to be plenty of minutes available. Obviously, Siakam, OG, Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes should all play massive minutes here. Last game, Pascal Siakam, he played the most minutes on the team, played 44 minutes. OG played 39 minutes. Gary Trent, I believe, played about 40. Yeah, he played 39, and then I think Scotty Barnes played over 40. Yeah, so 41 from Scotty Barnes. If it's a close game, I think we're getting 40 minutes from Siakam, OG, Trent, and Barnes. And Siakam might play 44, 45 minutes. Like we've seen Nick Nurse just run him into the ground. So I think Siakam is a very high floor, safe option. The ceiling is always there. The last 2 games, we've kind of seen more of a ceiling from Siakam. Had 56 in Game 4. Last game, he had 47. When he's playing 44, 45 minutes a night, I mean, it's going to be really hard for him to just completely tank your lineup. I know he did have some disappointing games, like Game 3. He only put up 28 DK points in 48 minutes, but that was just, a little bit of an outlier. Normally, when Siakam's playing this many minutes, he's going to give you 40, 45 DraftKings points most nights. And obviously, if he has a big ceiling game, he has 55, 60 point upside. So I think Siakam's a very solid pay-up option today. I think in the mid-range, Gary Trent and OG are both playable too. I think their price tags are probably where they should be, but like I said, I mean, OG is going to play probably 40 minutes. There's no VanVleet, so that should open up, more usage for all these guys. Gary Trent's been pretty good in the minutes he's played without VanVleet. He's definitely been more aggressive offensively. Last game, shot 5 for 14, so not the best shooting game from him. Had 26 DK points, but again, he played 39 minutes. Like Gary Trent's probably going to play 38 to 40 minutes here. At 6,500, again, he's priced where he should be, but I think he's still playable. Scotty Barnes is the guy that really stands out, though, as being too cheap. So he's only 6,200. He played 41 minutes last game. After he made his return, played limited minutes that game off the bench. And then last game, or the game before that, he played 26 minutes. But last game, he got 41. So it's clear that Scotty Barnes is no longer limited. It's clear that he should be good to go to play, full minutes here. He did start last game. I'm thinking we get 40-plus minutes from Scotty Barnes without VanVleet. I mean, there's going to be plenty of usage available. Like I said, Scotty Barnes does play some point guard when VanVleet's off the floor. We saw him get 4 assists last game. He should have the ball in his hands a decent amount. He's a guy that can rebound really well. His rebounding numbers have been really good in this series. He can obviously score as well. I definitely like Scotty Barnes, and he's probably my favorite play on Toronto just when you factor in price tag. At 6,200, that does stand out as just being too cheap today. Now on Yahoo, he's not as cheap over there, but I think the price tag on Yahoo, $29, I think that's going to keep his ownership fairly low. Like, I don't think a ton of people are going to pay that price tag for Scotty Barnes, and he does have the upside to pay off this price tag, especially when he's playing over 40 minutes. So I've got no issue going to Scotty Barnes on Yahoo, even though he is a little bit more expensive over there. And then the value from Toronto, Precious Achiuwa at 4,600, I think it's an okay value. He should probably play about 25 to 30 minutes. They did start Kim Birch once again last game, but like I don't know why, because Kim Birch only played 11 minutes. I don't know why they do this. Like I don't know why they're starting Kim Birch and then playing him like 10, 15 minutes. But you would think Achiuwa is going to be the guy that gets most of the minutes. I would think he plays like 25 to 30, 4,600. Like he's definitely in play for value today. Thad Young, I mean, he got big minutes in, I think that was game 4, but then last game his minutes came down, only had 16 minutes. Thad Young is one of these guys that when he does get minutes, he can produce. So he's playable, but it's just, man, it's really hard to tell like how Nick Nurse is going to divvy up the minutes between all these bench guys. Like we know Siakam, Scotty Barnes, OG, Gary Trent, we know those 4 guys are just going to play a ton of minutes. The rest of the bench guys, I mean, I'm confident Achiuwa gets pretty good minutes. But outside of that, like Thad Young, he could play 25, 30. He could play 15. Chris Boucher could play 25. He could also play 14. Like it's hard to tell. I think these bench guys for Toronto are definitely riskier options. If I had to play anyone for value from the Raptors, it would for sure be Achiuwa, just because I think he's the guy I'm most confident in, especially when it comes to his minutes. But yeah, that's what I see on Toronto. Obviously, with Toronto, their season on the line for this game, they're going to really lean on their starters. So I think these Toronto guys, the main 4 guys, all look pretty solid because they should just play crazy minutes here if the game's close. But that's it for that one. Let's move on to the next game, Phoenix and the Pelicans. So looking at Phoenix today, we got word that Devin Booker, they said he was out for today, and then they said he could maybe return for this game. It's just we don't know officially that Devin Booker is out, but the report was that he has been ruled out for this game. I guess if things start to trend in a positive way, then maybe he could wind up playing. But it seems like Devin Booker is probably going to be out for this game, and if there is a Game 7, that he would probably play in Game 7. So for now, I'm just expecting Booker to be out once again. If Devin Booker is out again, I mean, Chris Paul is going to have a massive role. Obviously, Chris Paul was disappointing in Game 4 of this series, but he bounced back in a big way last game. That pivotal game at home, he played huge minutes, 39 minutes, had 53 DraftKings points. This is the kind of upside that Chris Paul has. Like, after he had that bad game in Game 4, like, I just wasn't worried. I mean, we know Chris Paul can dominate. We know he's got the upside. We know the minutes are going to be there. He's the guy that they really have to lean on right now without Devin Booker. And obviously, they want to try and close out this game. They don't want to have to play a Game 7. They want to just, get this series over with, get a win here tonight. So I expect probably 38 to 40 minutes from Chris Paul. He's going to, have a really good usage rate. Obviously, going to have the ball in his hands a ton. He should be able to score. He's going to rack up a ton of assists. He's just a guy that can do everything. And 9,300, I still think he has the upside to pay off this price tag. So I, once again, am pretty high on Chris Paul. I think he looks like a pretty good pay-up option on both sites. On Yahoo at $39, he's for sure one of my favorite point guard options on Yahoo today. And then you have DeAndre Ayton at 7,900. I'm fine with. I mean, Ayton last 2 games has kind of been disappointing, but we saw him have a big game in Game 3, the first game that Devin Booker was out. Obviously, that upside, Ayton has that kind of upside when he's playing well. So I think Ayton's definitely a playable option. Mikal Bridges had a massive game last game. I would expect a little bit of regression for tonight, but man, worth noting that Mikal Bridges literally almost played the entire game. He played 47 out of 48 minutes. I mean, he literally almost played the entire game. I think Mikal Bridges plays like 40-plus minutes here, probably 43, 44 minutes. That alone makes him a pretty solid play. I just wouldn't expect 50 DraftKings points again. I think most nights Bridges is going to score like 30, 32 DK points. But he's playing huge minutes. I mean, 47 last game. That's just crazy. He should probably play 40-plus once again here. Bridges is definitely viable. And then Cam Johnson, I'm still pretty high on as a value play. So the last 3 games he has started in place of Devin Booker. Obviously, Game 3, he got in some foul trouble. His minutes were a little bit down. But the last 2 games, he's been solid, 32 minutes, and then he got 37 minutes last game. Now, Jay Crowder did get into foul trouble last game, so maybe Johnson saw a little bit of boost in minutes with that Crowder foul trouble. But I think he plays like 32, 34 minutes here. Cam Johnson is a really good three-point shooter. He's a guy that can stretch the floor. He can rebound as well. He just does a little bit of everything when he's on the floor. The minutes should be pretty solid at 40, and at 4,900, like I think he's a pretty solid value play on the slate. I know he hasn't shown like massive upside, but when you look at the value, I mean, there's not a ton of cheap plays that have massive upside. So I'm fine with Cam Johnson as a value play today. If he gives us 28, 30 DraftKings points, he's probably going to be pretty good at his salary, and he is cheap on Yahoo as well, so I do like him over there, only $15 as a small forward position. And then, like I said, Jay Crowder, he got into foul trouble last game, only played 22 minutes. His numbers have actually been pretty solid without Devin Booker. Like, he does get a little bit of a boost, so I think Crowder is a playable value. I would expect him to play 32, 34 minutes if he's not in foul trouble. He's been in foul trouble now in like 3 straight games, especially the last 2 games. He's really been limited by foul trouble. I think he plays like 32, 34 minutes if the foul trouble isn't there. So I think Crowder is definitely in play for value. And that's really it from Phoenix. I don't think anyone else is a playable option. So let's move on to the other side with the Pelicans. You got Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, both at the top, who continue to be pretty safe plays. Obviously, this matchup against Phoenix is not ideal, but you're just going to see massive roles for Ingram and McCollum. Ingram's played like 40 minutes a night in this series. He's been taking a ton of shots. Again, he's going to see probably a lot of Mikal Bridges, a lot of Jay Crowder. This is not the most ideal matchup, but we know the upside's there for Brandon Ingram, and we saw that. I think that was game 3 or game 2 of this series when he had a massive, almost a triple-double, had 69 Draftkings points. Like, he's got that kind of upside. At 9K, I think he's priced where he should be, but Brandon Ingram is definitely playable today. McCollum, I mean, he's been pretty consistent in this series. He had that disappointing game in game 4 where he only scored 34 DK points, but other than that game, I mean, 42, 51, 50, 48, been very consistent. Minutes have been massive, 43, 40, 41, 36, 40. I think we're getting like 40, 42 minutes from CJ McCollum, especially with this being a potentially, an elimination game for the Pelicans. They're going to push these guys as much as they can. I mean, they want to try and get the win here, potentially pull out a crazy upset if they can win this game and then, go into Phoenix and pull out the upset there. I expect massive minutes from McCollum. I think at 8,600, he is for sure in play. I think if I had to choose between Ingram and McCollum, once again, it's a slight lean for McCollum for me just because of the, slight discount in price, and I think both these guys project very closely. I give the edge to McCollum, but, obviously both are in play. And then Jonas Valanciunas, I mean, he continues to be a solid guy to go to. He's been good in back-to-back games now. The minutes have been there as well. 33 and 32 minutes, 52 and 42 Draftkings points. He's just been dominating in the paint. He's been dominating on the glass. He's been getting a lot of putbacks, a lot of offensive rebounds, back-to-back double-doubles from J-Val. I think if he continues to play 32, 33 minutes, we know J-Val is a guy that can stuff the stat sheet, can score, can rebound. He can block shots as well. He should be priced closely to McCollum. He should be like over 8K right now. I still think J-Val is a little bit too cheap if he continues to get these minutes, 33, 32 minutes a night. So I think J-Val is one of the better center plays. Once again, I like him quite a bit on both sides. Very affordable on Yahoo. He's for sure my favorite center play over there. A little bit cheaper than Ayton on Yahoo. I do prefer J-Val over Ayton if I had to choose between one of those guys today. And then the rest of the Pelicans, I mean, the one guy that I'll mention once again is just Herb Jones. Minutes are going to be massive. He played 40 minutes last game. He's played at least 40 minutes now in 3 out of their last 4 games. Obviously, Herb Jones does not offer a ton of upside. He literally put up 19 fantasy points in 40 minutes last game. But it's hard to find guys at 5,100 that are going to play 40 minutes. And we know Herb Jones is getting about 40 minutes if it's a close game. So he's definitely playable. That's really it from the Pelicans. I don't think anyone else is in play for me. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game, or the last game of the night, the Mavs and the Jazz. So looking at the Mavs today, you have Luka at the top for 11K. Obviously, Luka's in play today. I mean, the 2 games he's played since he came back from his injury, he's been pretty good in both games. 54 DK points in the first game. Last game in a blowout, he put up 59 DK points. I would think Luka plays like huge minutes here. If this is a close game, I would think he gets around 40 minutes. The only issue is that these playoff slates it's so tough to find value. But if you like your lineup and you can fit Luka, by all means play Luka. Like, I think if I had to pay up for someone above 10K, like if I had to choose between Embiid, Luka, or even like Siakam and Harden, like I think Luka's the guy I'd want to get to if I could get to him. It's just, man, it's so tough to pay up for these studs and then feel good about your lineup. It's just, there's just the value you're going to be playing is not going to make you feel good. But obviously Luka has massive upside and is obviously in play. The rest of Dallas, I mean, Brunson and Dinwiddie, I've kind of been off of them since Luka came back, and it really hasn't hurt me. I mean, Brunson's just been solid. At 7,200, he's still kind of overpriced for his role playing with Luka. He should be closer to like 6,500, in that mid 6K range. So I think Brunson's still a little bit too expensive for my liking. Dinwiddie, I mean, he's just been mediocre since Luka came back, and I think his role's just, taking a really big hit. So no interest in Dinwiddie for me. And then, Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock, it's the same thing every single day. These guys are going to play like 40 minutes. They're not good point per minute players, but 40, or 41, 40, 47, 42, 44. He's played literally 40 minutes in every game so far in the series. So at 5,300, if you want to play Dorian Finney-Smith just for the minutes he's going to get, I don't have an issue with it. Same goes for Reggie Bullock. He's been playing like over 40 minutes a night. Last game only played 31, but once again, that was a blowout. 46, 44, 45, 44. He's 5K and he's going to play like 40 minutes, so he's playable. But Reggie Bullock's one of these guys that could give you 20 DraftKings points in 40 minutes. He's not a super productive point per minute player. And that's probably it from Dallas. Like I don't think I'm going to Maxi Kleber. I mean, 4K, he's cheap. He probably gets like 20, 25 minutes. We've seen them start, play Dwight Powell a little bit more lately. Dwight Powell's minutes have started to trend up a little bit. He's been getting, low to mid 20s, whereas before he was only playing like in the teens. So if Dwight Powell's playing like 24 minutes, that probably means that Kleber is not playing a ton. So yeah, I just don't think I want to go to the bigs from Dallas. I think that's really it for this Mavs team. Obviously, Luka's, the best player on Dallas. And then on the other side of this game with the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell injured his hamstring late in that game, last game in Game 5. But they've already said that he's expected to play. He's good to go for this game. With this being a potentially, an elimination game for Utah, obviously this would be like a huge just disappointment for Utah. Once again, I mean, they always just disappoint in the playoffs. And it would be a huge disappointment for them to lose this game, at home. I think, they're going to do whatever they can to win. I expect Donovan Mitchell to play like 42, 44 minutes. So at 8,800, I mean, Donovan Mitchell is definitely in play. Obviously, he was a huge disappointment last slate, but I would think he bounces back today. I mean, he's going to have to do everything for this Jazz team if they want to win this game. Rudy Gobert, I mean, 7,700. He's a playable option, but I would much rather go to J-Val and much rather go to Ayton. Those are guys I'd rather play at the center position. I mean, he's like shown no upside in this series. He has yet to put up a game over 40 DraftKings points in this series. The Mavs have just done a good job of, stretching him out, getting him away from the basket, and they're just going to continue to do that. So I'm not super high on Gobert. Clarkson's been playing really well, but his price tag's also come way up. He was 4,700 last slate, and I did kind of like him as a value play last slate. Well, now he's almost 6K, so at almost 6K, like I don't think Clarkson's a standout option, but he's still in play for me because his minutes have been really good. He's been playing like 30-plus minutes a night, even coming off the bench. We've seen him take some minutes away from Mike Conley, so yeah, I don't mind going to Jordan Clarkson. Obviously, Conley's a little bit risky right now just because his minutes have been trending down. He was in a little bit of foul trouble last game. I would think if the game's close, like Conley probably plays like 30 minutes, but it does seem like Clarkson kind of has the upper hand on him right now, and they kind of prefer Clarkson over Conley when they can give minutes to Clarkson. So if I had to pick one of those two guards from Utah, I think I'd take Clarkson over Conley today. And then Bojan, I mean, he just was so bad last game. He literally played 28 minutes and scored 3 DraftKings points. Has to be like the worst game of his career. I mean, that was just terrible. 0 for 9 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3. Had 1 rebound, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, and 3 fouls. 2 points, actually. So 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 2 turnovers in 28 minutes. I mean, what the hell, Bojan? Like, what? How is that even possible? I mean, at 5,600, like the price tag has come down on Bojan, so I think he's a pretty good play today because his usage has been pretty good in the minutes he's played in the playoffs so far. And he's been playing really big minutes. Like, he's been getting about 40 minutes a night in the games that are close, and he's not in foul trouble. So I think Bojan's a pretty good bounce back candidate here. Obviously, he was so bad last slate, but I wouldn't let that impact my decisions for today. I think Bojan at 5,600 does look like a pretty safe mid-range option. Obviously, it's weird calling him safe after he scored 3 DraftKings points last game, but he should play big minutes if the game's close, so he is for sure in play for me. And then Royce O'Neal, I mentioned just as a punt play. He's 4,300. He's going to play like 32 minutes. It's Royce O'Neal. He's not the best point per minute player, but he's cheap and he's going to get the minutes, so he's someone I did want to mention. But that's really it from Utah. I don't think I'm going to anyone else on this team, so yeah, that's it for this 3-game slate, guys. Once again, it's one of these slates where there's just not much value. We've kind of talked about a lot of just gross value plays today, but these should be some fun games to watch. I'm kind of excited to watch these. Hopefully, all these games can get extended to 7 games. I just want to see the playoffs, go as long as possible. So I would like to see Toronto win tonight. I'd like to see the Pelicans win. I'd like to see the Jazz win. But we'll see how it goes. I appreciate you guys, checking out these videos every day, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. Make sure to do that if you have not yet. Also, lastly, go check out PrizePicks. As we talked about at the beginning, PrizePicks running this cool promo. If you look on the screen, cool promo for the NFL draft. It's a questionnaire. It's like 16 questions. It's a basically a free promo they're running where you answer 16 questions, and depending on how many questions you get right for the NFL draft, you could potentially win up to $100,000. If you get every single pick right, it's 16. Again, 16 picks. If you go 16 for 16, get every single pick right, you will win $100,000, or you will split $100,000 with whoever else gets every question right. If you're the only person to get every question right, you win all $100,000 to yourself. So definitely check out PrizePicks. Get signed up over there. Use code NOAH when you do. Take advantage of this cool promo they're running for the NFL draft. I wish you guys the best of luck if you're going to play in that promo. I did already put my questions in. I already answered mine. I'll be honest, like when it comes to the NFL draft, I don't pay too much attention. I pay attention to the NFL when the season starts, but when draft time comes, I'm not really locked into the NFL draft. So I was just kind of guessing with my answers, but it's a free questionnaire. You might as well just take a shot at it. If you just guess, just guess. Even if you get like a couple picks wrong, you could still win some money, still win some Prize Picks promo funds. So definitely give Prize Picks a try. Take advantage of this promo they're running. Make sure when you sign up, you do use code NOAH, so that way they match your first deposit up to $100 when you sign up with my promo code. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for today. Wish you the best of luck on the slate. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Once again, appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.